Hey you guys, tonight we're making chicken Alfredo penne, and this is something that I've made often for you kids, and so I thought, well, if I'm making it tonight, I may as well record it. So these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need minced garlic, you're going to need an onion, probably a yellow onion is going to be best. You're going to need chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You can, if you like mushrooms, get mushrooms. You can, if you like, get spinach. Those are optional. You're going to want a bag of penne noodles and a jar of Alfredo sauce. I just buy a jar of Alfredo sauce off the shelf. And then you're probably going to need some milk or some cream. I find that the jar is never enough. You need a little bit more liquid because your noodles are going to absorb the liquid. And then some of your seasonings are going to be salt, garlic, salt, pepper, oregano, basil, and thyme. And I mean, if you wanted, you can even do rosemary, whatever just your flavor preferences for herbs. And we're going to have this with garlic toast, and I'm going to be lazy and not make a salad tonight. And so let's do this together. See you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Turning up the burner. I want to get it nice and hot. I have my water in a pot. We're going to try to rip this out kind of fast. And so the only thing that I didn't put up on that screen that you actually need is you need some oil. I find it really hard to cook garlic if you don't have oil. So once that gets a little bit warm, we'll add our minced garlic. I used about 3 cloves of garlic, but really you have to use as much garlic as you like. It's up to you. All right. You can tell when your oil is hot. If you put your garlic in the pan before your oil is hot, then it sticks to the bottom of your pan. So let that get warm. The other thing I'm going to show you is mushrooms. So I have these mushrooms. I have them prepped. But one of the things that nobody ever talks about is peeling mushrooms. So I'm going to show you how to peel mushrooms. You have your mushroom. You see inside, you just stick your finger here, and you can peel back the skin of your mushroom. See that? See how it just peels? So when you do prepare your mushrooms, I always peel my mushrooms. Mushrooms grow in poo. Gross. Lots of people don't like eating mushrooms for that reason. See, isn't that great? Then this is just lovely and clean, and you got your mushroom all done. Peel the other mushroom. Oh. And it looks like our oil is starting to bubble. So, hi guy. Taking my phone? You little sneaker. As we're just finishing to peel this mushroom here. And our oil is bubbling, so we are going to get going on that. First, we're going to start with our minced garlic. Stick it in. It is going to get really brown really, really fast. Next. Already that is browning, we're going to stick in our onion. And let me show you how I've sliced this onion. Take that over, I'll show that to you in a second. You want to get your onions right on top of your garlic right away. And you want to get that stirring around, or else it's going to burn. Or else your garlic will burn. It seems like the minute that you put in your onions, you're good to go. It doesn't burn. So this is how our onions looked. I just sliced them like this, so they look like little rainbows. Honestly though, you can slice them however you want. You don't have to slice them like me. And And then the other thing that we're going to throw in right away is our mushrooms because they take a couple minutes. So I did cut mine in half like this, but you cut them however you want. It's like, it's no big deal. So I can see that my water over here from my noodles is starting to boil. Then I take my bag of penne. There's quite a few of us eating tonight, so I'm going to use a whole bag, but you use however many you want. And by a lot of people, tonight I'm cooking for 4 adults and 3 children. Just going to stir that around for a little bit. I'm going to add some seasoning to this mixture right now. I'm going to add some salt. So just some salt. Like that's about how much salt I'm going to add. It is going to draw the water out. Salt draws water out. So mushrooms have a lot of water content. So do onions. Normally I would use fresh spinach, but today we are using frozen spinach. So I took it out of the package. It looks like this. It's got a lot of water in it, so it's going to help anything from sticking to the bottom. And I'm going to put it in right now. There we go. So as that starts to all cook together, and I still, by the way, have my stove on high, I'm going to continue seasoning. So I'm going to use black pepper, and I'm just going to sprinkle some on, however much you want. I mean, not too much, but some for sure. I have some oregano left. This is very little. I'd say this is a 1/4 teaspoon, but oregano is one that I would easily probably use a tablespoon after this. Because I don't have a lot of it, I'm going to put some basil in there too. So let's just maybe about this much. Let me see if I can show you that in my hand. About that much basil. I love the herby taste. Like I love herbs, and I love putting them into my pasta. I love this the undertone of flavor. I'm also going to use thyme. So probably about the same amount of thyme. Thyme is such a compliment. And now, if I had dug out the rosemary, I would use that too. So probably about that much thyme. Season all this. It's good because we're going to add the chicken and it will just be all seasoned here. It's going to be lovely. Let's stir that around. Pardon me. Pardon me. I put the thyme too close to my nose. It smells so good. Just the smell of the herbs and the onions and the garlic. Oh. You can really see that it's starting to minimize in there. It looks a lot darker in the video than it actually is, but that's cool. So we're going to let that happen for a minute, and then we'll be back to put our chicken in. See you in a minute. You know what? I actually think it's worth it if we add some rosemary. So what I'm going to do for the rosemary is I'm going to take out probably about that much. And now to put it in, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to crush it in my fingers. And I'm going to ground it down in my hands. Oh, it smells so good. I thought it was worth it to pull out the rosemary. It just gives one more layer of flavor that makes it really, really, really lovely. Okay, so let's start putting in our chicken. So I have the chicken already. We pre-sliced it, and I'm just gonna, what I did, let me show you here, was I put all my other ingredients around the outside, and I'm gonna add my chicken in the middle. So you know what I think? I think it probably needs just a splash more oil in there. I thought that we were gonna have a bit more moisture with the spinach and the mushrooms, but we have it cooking quite high. Just going to get our chicken right there in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty hot in there, so that's good. Okay, I put about half of it in. I'm just going to give it a stir. Just to share the space. Put the lid on the penne. Stir. So some of that is white around the edges. Let's put the rest of it in there. Good enough. Wash my hands. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull down the sides a bit, cover my chicken. And then I'm going to cover it. The heat can stay in there. Help it cook a little bit. And so we're going to let that go for a few minutes. Going to set the table, and then we'll be back to do the sauce and the garlic salt. See you in a minute. Okay, so we've let that go for a few minutes. Exactly how I dropped the lid on it before is exactly how I'm going to pull the lid off of it. We're just going to check our noodles first. They are starting to look okay. Let's just test one. Oh, really, really hot. Almost. Okay. It's perfect. Those are going to be done really, really soon. Until that heat right off. Okay, so we're going to take our lid off. Now I'm going to flip this around, see what's going on under there. You can see that well, that's going crazy. You can see that the spinach is starting to break up perfectly. The chicken is starting to look white and brown and cooked. Now, it really does kind of look like a mess, and how is this going to taste good? I guarantee it is. And the spinach will give it just the right color, and not that much taste. Just like it adds vitamins and minerals and iron, and it doesn't ruin the taste of your stuff, but it gives it a nice green color, which makes it a lot prettier. So that's part of why we do that. So we're really, really close to adding the Alfredo sauce here. This looks almost cooked. It's going to help cook everything. It's going to help continue to cook everything. Okay, that one's done. All right, so let's do the Alfredo sauce. I just happen to buy like whatever no-name brand there is. I usually use Classico roasted garlic, but this was less expensive roasted garlic Alfredo, so we're going with the horses we got. So I'm just going to open up the jar and dump it straight in. Now, you're not going to get it all out because it's quite thick. Don't worry, we're going to need a little bit more liquid. So we are going to add some milk to our empty jar and shake it around just to get all that cream and flavor. Same thing, we're going to use 2 jars on this. Just because I used a full pack of penne, and the pasta noodles really absorb a lot of liquid. All right, so we got that in there. How good does that look? Now it looks creamy and lovely. It smells so good. Now, it is a little bit thick. We do have that on high. So at this point, I'm going to turn my stove down. I had it on high this whole time, but I don't want this to burn. I'm going to get some milk, and I'm going to add it to these jars. So I'm going to get the milk. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it to the jar. Oops, that was too much. I made it almost full. I didn't want it to be. I only wanted it to be about halfway full. It doesn't matter though. It's not going to be the end of the world for us. It's just more liquid for our noodles to absorb, really. So we're going to put the lid back on. This is our jar of Alfredo that we've dumped out. We have milk in it. And we are going to give it a really good shake. Perfect. Then we're going to dump some of that in. Because I did too much at the beginning. So then I'm going to do it with the second jar. And then I'm going to give it a really good shake. All right, and we're done with those. All right, now we got to stir that around. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do next, but I am going to go off screen to do this because I need to be at my sink. I am going to get out my strainer. I am going to strain these penne noodles, and then I am going to add all the penne noodles into this one right here. Just double check your noodles. Yep, perfect timing. I'm going to pause. I'm going to strain, and then we're going to dump together. And then we have one more seasoning left to do. See you in a minute. Okay, so we strained our noodles, and now we're going to just dump them straight into this pot. All right. the same time, I got my tray of garlic toast. I'm going to stick it in the oven. Okay, and now we just need to flip this over itself. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off my heat. I think it's all cooked. We just added some really hot noodles. I'll tell you what, I want a different spoon. I just want a big flat one. All right. I'm just going to flip that around a bit. Now, I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to season this with the garlic. We need to test it and taste and see if it needs any more salt, pepper, or one of the things that we didn't add was the garlic salt. So this is one that I have, just a big container. It's not powder, it's not salt, it's granulated garlic. But garlic salt would work. Garlic powder would work. So let's get a fork and let's test. Just getting a spoon. All our forks are at the table. We get a little mushroom, we'll get a little onion, we'll get a couple pennes. Oh man. I don't think it needs anything. I think that people can season to taste on their own at the table. So we're gonna call this game. I'm gonna serve this up right now. That's all there is to it. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Go be brilliant. Go excel. Go win. And enjoy your food. I love you.